So, who are your favorite comic book characters?
So for me, it'd have to be Grant Morrison's Animal Man and probably Hellboy.
For me, it's always been Spider-Man's hands down my favorite, just because that was the first ever superhero I had and knew about. And then I always put Batman in there because it's Batman. Yeah. Yeah, Batman's great.
Batman.
I mean, there's so many people that have written great versions of Batman. Like, it's amazing. There's so much you can do with that character.
So, out of all the people that y'all just named, who do you think would win in the fight?
Animal Man.
I'm going with his team because he's got not only the power of hell behind him, but also Animal Man, who can take any power he wants, basically. I don't think my guys have a
So
chance.
Animal Man's thing is on a planet, you can look at any sort of animal that's on the planet, you get power from it. So like, oh, there's birds, I can have wings. Near the end of the New 52 series, he goes to the root planet, from which all planets come. You know, you got asteroids that crash down, bacteria. He goes to the root planet, and he can access any planet in the galaxy. So he could conceivably be like, oh, hey, I want to be a Kryptonian. He now has all the powers of a Kryptonian. He can almost be like, oh, hey, I want all the strength of New Genesis again.
Yeah,
He's unbeatable.
True.
they got no chance there.
Yeah. That's like.
If you had said Miguel O'Hara, Space Jesus Spider-Man, yeah, that would.
That just brought up an interesting question. Who y'all think will win between Animal Man and Darwin?
Darwin.
You saw what you call it? X-Men First Class.
X-Men.
Yeah,
They just like butchered him in the movie. Maybe
Oh, yeah, they definitely
But
did.
in the comics, he's like.
Oh yeah, the ability to
Give him
evolve
just, like,
anything.
yeah. Really similar characters.
I-
Except with Darwin, it's strictly.
Now I don't remember the exact parameter. Was it he can specifically adapt to anything? Is it an environment? Is it specifically?
He adapts to
trauma?
survive what's around him. So
Yeah.
if he could, in sense, adapt to survive whatever Animal Man's throwing at him, but to the extent of becoming a Kryptonian, it might be hard to adapt at that point because you're the.
Because he can also just
he
fly
adapted to-
about a mile away and just zoom.
He adapted to like death. at
Oh yeah,
one
he
point.
adapted to being stuck in space. He turned into a gaseous cloud.
Yeah.
It's close, but I definitely have to go with Animal Man just for the fact that, whatever he can turn into, he's gonna have some, crazy alien crap. 'Cause-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with Animal Man too on that one just for that reasoning that he usually can find. That's a tough question, but I'm gonna go with Animal Man.
Okay. So what's y'all's favorite comic book movie?
Would you say Beetlejuice is a comic movie? I would. It almost kind
I
of
mean,
feels
if you
like
want to consider it one, yeah.
I'd probably go with Batman Returns. Michael Keaton. Danny Vito's the Penguin.
I know it just probably seems generic at this point, but I still gotta go with Dark Knight. It's just the most breathtaking superhero movie up to this point. It's just, there's nothing wrong with it. Like,
It's a stretch, but
I don't
it's
know
my
about
favorite
that,
too. But I wouldn't say
Like-
nothing.
It's certainly an incredible film.
I mean, I've always been
on.
I always have had this like standpoint of Christopher Nolan's Batman movies aren't Batman movies because they're just so
They're just thrillers.
realistic. But like when it comes down like movies based on comic books, I think it's just the best one. Next to like Logan's up there now too because it's just
Yeah, it's like
it's so different that
Yeah.
it's special because of it. It doesn't follow the same parameters that every single Marvel movie and every single other DC film follows.
it's just like a good movie. You don't
Yeah.
think of it as necessarily a comic book movie. It's like
Yeah.
a good movie with comic book characters in it.
Yes, yeah.
And then the flip side of that for me would be Batman Returns, just the perfect conveyance of comic book convention and story to a different medium.
Yeah.
I don't think arguments of what's better or subjective. I don't think anyone will ever be able to transfer like the comic book sentiment, how the story unfolds, and just the general feeling than Tim Burton. There have been other great comic book movies. I don't think there has been a comic book movie as good as Tim Burton's Batman. There's certainly amazing movies put on or based on comics, but and like you said, Batman Dark Knight Returns is more of a not Dark Knight Returns. Dark Knight is more of a just amazing film. I feel like Tim Burton is the master of just being able to convey, you know.
He made a comic.
He made a comic
movie.
book a movie. He didn't make a movie out of a comic book. He completely transferred it to a different medium in full with its essence, spirit, all